Let's open this big boy. First of all, I want to point out something that I think Ryder does incredibly well. And like this year, no skips. This year, the same thing. Look at how beautiful this box art is, right? This is the Henshin Belt Gavv, obviously. It says Poppin' Gummy, which I feel like is something you would hear in a Hollywood nightclub. Poppin' Gummies. So that's a weird thing to put on a Japanese kid's toy. But you got that stuff. I think the box is just beautiful. Like Kamen Rider Gavv, the little Gochizo guy. Boom. This side, what is it? There it is. It's Shoma reaching for it. I still am not in love with the suit, but you know, it is what it is. I think this box is lovely. The gloss on it is sick. I think is really cool. Let's pop it open so I can play with my tummy. I remember like the first couple Ryder toys I got, I didn't like, the boxes weren't that dope. The boxes were just like fine, but like I threw them away all the time because I was like, these are just boxes. And now more and more I find myself wanting to keep them and store them that way. Geertlinger box, like that's a perfect just shelf for the helmet and the Geertlinger in front of it. This isn't sponsored or anything, but if you want to get this and box it with a bunch of stuff, why not use bai.jp and use the code for bai.jp? This video is not sponsored, but I am an affiliate of Bai, so if you use the affiliate code, it helps the channel. You can get this and a bunch of other Gochizos or other Kamen Rider Gavv or just other toys in general, box them all together, ship them to your door. Like I said, not sponsored, but use the affiliate code anyways because it helps me out. Oh, there's my Gavv tummy, guys. The Gochizo first. So just one button on the back right here that does that. Obviously no electronics in this or anything. There's the little three, they're not pins, but they're like, you know, magnetic strips or whatever. Next up is the tummy. I don't know if it comes with batteries yet. We're gonna have to see. No batteries. My tummy came without batteries. All right, I don't want to be pessimistic already, but that might be the quietest speaker I've heard in a Ryder toy in a very long time. Gummy! You open the mouth. You put the gummy in. Close the mouth. Does it look like I'm eating it? Popping gummy, juicy! And that's it. Goodbye. Nope, still makes the same sound. Okay, so if I do that, there's this weird switch on the back. Not switch, but like these two things. I don't know what they are, but they're like spring-loaded. If I press them together, which is the only way you can move them, it doesn't look like it does anything. It's cool. Like I don't hate it, which I feel like I have to say a lot of the time when I'm like reviewing these toys. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just basic. I don't know, it's weird. And you can do a lot of things with it because it's like part of his anatomy. So like story-wise, you could do whatever you want with it. And it could turn into different things. I don't know, maybe it stays up like this for something. Could they theoretically stick a dick in it? It's just, I assume, yes, I assume to answer your question in a very, very theory way, I assume anything that goes into his mouth would also then become a Gochizo out of his other mouth. Yes. Can you do the live Henshin? Yeah, let me see.
よろしくご指導。
Voop. Dude, wait, that part's so hard. I can't even put it. Henshin. Right? It did an error message, but I think I got it right. All right, so let's review this thing. Right away, you can see this is everything that comes in the box. You got your straps. You got the piece that goes on the back that nobody really uses. You've got the actual Henshin belt Gavv, or Gabbu. Sorry, I've mispronounced it a million times. And then you've got the poppin' gummy guy on the inside. Taking a look at the poppin' gummy real close up. This is what he looks like. Right here, it says some words at the bottom. I can't really make them out. I know you can't either because the camera won't focus up, but I can't really make them out. It says poppin' gummy at the top. You spin it around, you can see the little slots for the arms, that little 3 little magnet strips I was talking about, and then just kind of the back. No QR code this year, which I thought was funny because I feel like we have QR codes every year on everything. So no QR code on the poppin' gummy, but it does have this little button right here, which that's what causes the little poppin' gummy to come out. So you can play with it just like that, like a fidget toy if you want to, which I know I do with a lot of rider gimmicks. But other than that, that's pretty much all it does. It's got no electronics or anything. It's got a little hole, which I think might come in handy for like hanging it some places. It also says juicy taste up there. But that's about it. And as far as like the actual molding goes, it's fine. There's a little imperfection right here, which I assume is going to be on most of them. That's just where it kind of clips off the molding or the casting when it's getting made. And a lot of rider gimmicks end up having that somewhere. I know, especially on my Master Morpher, which is supposed to be like a premium type gimmick from a show, that has it on there as well. So that's where mine is, over on the left side. If you're facing the eyes, it's on the left side. It doesn't look like it has it anywhere else. That's the only real imperfection spot right there, and it's just kind of rough, and you can feel it almost like when you cut off gunpla, if you know what that is or what I'm talking about there. That's kind of what it feels like there. Going over to the belt, you look over at the belt. There's a real close-up of it. We can close it there, and I do think it's like a good looking belt at the end of the day, especially because it's not really a belt. It's his stomach. Like it's just the piece of his stomach. So you're never going to see the back on screen or anything. This is all just connected to his tummy. So you can really do anything you want with it. And I think they just kept it neat and basic right there. And then up here, you can kind of tell, like, it's got the teeth because that's his like, I'm calling it a stomach, but really it's his second mouth. It's a second mouth. I kind of wish this looked more organic. The ones on the other Granoots look organic, but his is like this mechanical type thing. Obviously with this handle right here being very reminiscent of Kamen Rider Build, but it also looks like a motorcycle handle, which I thought was cool, Kamen Rider motorcycle handle and everything. But I'm interested to see if he uses that as like brake for anything. It doesn't have any function here. It doesn't move or anything. It's just how the mold looks there. You pull it up, you put the gummy in, boom, you close it, you crank it, and he chomps just like that. And then you press the side and he pops out. You probably could have guessed it, but if I could take this out, pressing the side here triggers off this little black part in here, if you can see it where my thumb is, triggers that to just press the side of this. So not a super complicated belt in terms of like mechanically. I don't know, I've said before, I don't know how they're going to implement, super forms and bigger gimmicks. If you look, there's like still this little space that you can use right here, and that kind of goes all the way up. So they're probably just going to get fatter, but I'm interested to see what the final form gimmick is going to look like and how big and bulky it's going to be, because as far as add-ons to this belt, I don't see any way you can do it. But then again, I didn't see how you could do the Gotchard belt add-ons, and they just stacked all of those right on top, every single one of them. So we'll see how that ends up. I'll turn this on so you guys can hear what it sounds like with the better microphones. There you go. It's got that speaker in the front, so let me do it again so you guys can hear the front of it. Open it up. We get that opening sound. Drop it in. Gummy. And that'll play. I think it just plays as long as it's going. I don't think there's any like shut off to it or anything. I think it just plays like that until you start cranking it. And I think you can crank it for as long as you want too. And then obviously he presses on the side and you get the actual henshin. And I don't know how well it's coming through on this shotgun microphone that I have hooked up, but I really think this is like one of the weakest speakers that I've heard in a rider toy, which just leads me to believe that like the future gimmicks. Oops. Sorry, one more. Let me do that again. There it is. And you can take that out and get those sounds. But it just leads me to believe that the future toys are obviously going to have speakers in them to do a little bit more, because like even this, it's very low, and not even just it's low, it feels like it's peaking for the speaker that it's on. So I'm not in love with I didn't know it did that. I'm not in love with the sounds, the sound quality that comes out of it right out of the box, but you know, it's a Kamen Rider toy. It's a belt. I don't know what else to say. It's a driver. Like I should expect more for $80, but I also have to remember it's not $80 for its intended audience in Japan. It's just $80 for people like me who ship it over. But I didn't realize it did like a growling, hungry sound if you just press this and it's open. Let's close it and see. So if you press that while nothing's in there, it just does this kind of like empty stomach growling sound. There we go. And if we chomp while nothing's in there, you still get the munching sound, but it's munching on nothing. And then you can get the growly stomach. So I think it's cool. I think it's a fine driver and gimmick. I'm not super excited about it. I like to have it because I like to have all the drivers. I think this one, if I wasn't super into the first episode, it would have been a pass easy. It's not a driver that I need to have on my shelf no matter what, even if I didn't like the first episode or if I don't like the series. But I ended up liking the series, so they got me with that one. But it's not a driver that I'm going to need tons of different gachizos from. If you want to get, it's all, and this is all my preference. It's all dependent on you. If you like these little guys, then you like these little guys. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but who knows? Maybe we'll get one that changes my tune, piques my interest. Maybe we get like a dark gummy or something, or a final form gummy that I'm like really into. As of right now, I've only seen I think 3 molds of these guys, and that's because all the legend riders are those 3 different molds of them. So I'm excited to see more. I know this guy pops up like that. I think there's one that's opens from the side and one that opens from the top. And you can get as many Gochizos as you want. I know that some of them come in like candy wrappers. I think that's a cool little gimmick. But I hope these guys don't go too high up in price later on when we get them. Because it just is what it is. There's going to be so many of these, and there's already so many variants of these because, you know, Shoma creates so many of these. They aren't like one and done gimmicks and he's using the same pop and gummies all the time. They're actually different life forms. Every time he uses them, they come out and they go to heaven like every time after he's done using them, and then he uses more to rejuvenate his armor. So there's going to be a lot of these. There's going to be a lot of these around. And if you're really in love with this gimmick, then I say go for it. Get as many as you want. Collect them all. The belt, on the other hand, I think is one of the weaker drivers that we've had in terms of design. Sorry, let me focus up here. One of the weaker drivers we've had in terms of design. But I'm going to have to wait till I see, you know, super forms and final forms to see what else we do with it. I was messing with this on stream. Didn't really do anything. I don't know what the ultimate... See, it doesn't even... that's not even like hooking there. So I don't know what that does or what that's for. Let me see if I can see something on this side. I can't even see anything on this side. It does. Oh, wait, I do. Okay. Interesting. So that pops off the top. I'm not sure if that will be used. I can't imagine Shoma's stomach popping up will be part of the, like, top of the stomach popping off will be part of the gimmick. We'll see. Maybe you do a super form that takes off the top and you pop on a new top. Who knows? Truly, who knows? It's gonna be a wild season. But I think all in all, honestly, if you want this thing, if you really want this thing and you need it now, go out and buy it. If you want this thing and you're like okay with waiting, I'd say probably wait 10 episodes and see if the price goes down. See if you can grab a used one on Buy for a good price and package it with some other stuff or some other gimmicks of this season that you want. There's obviously going to be like premium DX version or whatever they do now after the shows are over, that you can get after that if you want to wait for that. But yeah, this is definitely a not right away, don't need now, can wait on it driver. So let's go outside and try to henshin with it. Henshin. I'm like pushing my belly out so that the strap will stay on. I swear, if I was sucking it in, it'd look better. But that was fine. This is like a 5, maybe a 6 out of 10 driver. That's what I'm giving it. Anyways, there's your review of the Henshin Belt Gavv, or the tummy driver, as I like to call it. There you go.